Hello, my name is Megan Cervantes. This is my MAE program uh, artifact analysis PowerPoint. Let me share with you my screen. National University MAE Program Artifact Analysis, October 2022. Course of Study Artifact Analysis table here shows the PLOs 1 through 4 and also the Plan of Study 1 through 10. For Plan of Study 1, MAE16 follows the PLO 3. Plan of Study 2, ITL 600 aligns with PLO 2. Plan of Study 3, ITL 604 aligns with PLO 2. Plan of Study 4, ITL 606 aligns with PLO 1 and 3. Plan of Study 5, ITI 670 aligns with PLO 3. Plan of Study ITI 672 aligns with PLO 1 and 3. Plan of Study 7, ECE 652 aligns with PLO 2. Plan of Study 8, ECE 653 aligns with PLO 4. Plan of Study 9, ECE 654 aligns with PLO 3. And lastly, Plan of Study 10, MAE 610 aligns with PLO 4. The first artifact provided was the Source Practitioner Research Study from MAE610. This artifact is a research study review that investigates the relationship between flipped classroom teaching of social-emotional learning and content knowledge in elementary age students. This was an analyzing of a research article. My PLO alignment is selected practitioner research aligns with PLO 3, which requires that practitioner research is applied to the study and informed instruction learning environments. The IDM allocation I&D introductory research review of a single practitioner research study because it's the start of a larger practitioner research analysis. D developed analysis interpretation of a single practitioner research because it follows complete guidelines for understandings. The competency, this artifact shows knowledge of understanding of source practitioner research analysis, introductory and developed PLO 3 in this artifact because it is an analysis of research articles and also a developed understanding of the research that was conducted. The second Plan of Study 2, ITL 600, was the unpacking of rubrics. In this, we unpacked a generic set of rubrics. This unpacking of the rubrics was to clarify the criteria and specific skills needed to achieve highly developed and developed emerging and initial scorings. The plan PLO alignment selected unpacked rubric aligns with PLO 2, which requires the assessment of learning. The IDM allocation is I for introductory, introduced brief analysis of unpacking the understanding of rubrics because it only analyzes a generic rubric, not the breakdown of a specific assignment. The competencies of this artifact shows knowledge of understanding of unpacking the rubrics for desired self-assessment or student assessment of competencies of an assignment. This aligns with PLO 3 as introduced because it is showing understanding of a baseline rubric. This is an important part of teaching because as teachers, we have to understand what it is that the rubric is asking us to score our students on. It allows us to self-reflect and also our students. This Plan of Study 3, ITL 604, is an asset identification. The artifact analyzes 3 students' diverse needs in order to determine their assets and learning gaps. This PLO alignment, selected, assessed, identification, aligns with PLO 2, which requires the design of learning experiences of learners' characteristics and customs learning. The IDM allocation is D for developed, analysis of 3 students' assets and learning needed because it took the prior learning experience of identifying the 3 learners and now coming to the conclusion of what their needs are. Competencies of this artifact show knowledge of understanding of how to analyze students and their needs. This is developed PLO 2 alignment because it shows understanding of learner differences and needs. It also comes up with a plan to assess and meet the learner needs. The fourth Plan of Study is ITL 606 Learning Theories. This PowerPoint presentation reflects on the 6 different learning theories with comparison of notes, UDL connections, connections of my teaching schema as a whole class, and with my 3 focused students. The PLO alignment, selected learning theories presents aligns with PLO 1, which requires advanced approaching to learning using digital tools and skills. Selected learning theories presented also align with PLO3, which requires the research method to inform instruction in traditional environments. The IDM allocation is M for mastered, understanding of 6 different learning styles with in-depth analysis of the use of each learning styles with whole group and individual learning. It is mastered because the understanding of the 6 different learning theories are analyzed over numerous areas and how it could be implemented. The competencies of this artifact show knowledge and understanding of different learning theories and the use in small groups, individual students, or whole class learning. This is a mastered PLO 1 and 3 because it shows knowledge of the use of technology in education through the use of the PowerPoint, and it shows competencies and understandings of different types of learning that could be used in the classroom. It also shows how to implement these theories within your own classroom and with each group of learners. Plan of Study 5 is the ITI 670 Action Research Brainstorm. This artifact is a brief brainstorm of possible research questions relating to the social emotional learning skills following the CASEL guidelines and how it could be used or analyzed in school settings. The PLO alignment, Selected Action Research Brainstorm, aligns with PLO 3, which requires the research method to study and inform instructions into traditional environments. The IDM allocation is I for introduced, brainstorming of possible research questions for social emotional learning in schools. It is introduced because it is just the start of a future research project. The competencies of this artifact show knowledge of understanding of how to create a research question through ensuring that the question is developed appropriately for effective research analysis. This is an introductory for PLO 3 alignment because it shows understanding of research methods. However, there was no research conducted in this brainstorm. Plan of Study 6 is ITI 672, Evidence-Based Intervention. This artifact here is a PowerPoint presentation on the social emotional learning evidence-based intervention of temperature checks. The PLO alignment selected evidence-based intervention aligns with PLO 1, which requires advanced approach to learning using digital tools and skills through PowerPoint. Selected evidence-based intervention also aligns with PLO 3, which requires the research method to inform instruction in traditional environments. The IDM allocation is D for developed, evidence-based intervention analysis of the interpretation and implementation of social emotional learning method temperature checks. It is developed because it examines the understanding and use of the method. The competency this artifact shows knowledge of understandings of evidence-based intervention that can be used in everyday classrooms. This is in developed PLO 3 and PLO 1 alignment because it shows understanding of the use of technology through the PowerPoint, and it informs everyday practices in education through the use of temperature checks. Plan of Study 7 is ECE 652, Focused Observation. This artifact is a focused observation on social emotional learning in action in early childhood education classes. It includes the reflections of findings, comparison to Vygotsky and Pygott, and the connection between the California curriculum techniques. The PLO alignment, Selected Focused Observation, aligns with PLO 2, which requires learning experience, design, and principles of custom learning experience. The IDM allocation is D and M. D for developed observation of early childhood education students' social emotional learning. Developed because it shows the understanding of competencies of social emotional learning. M for mastered analysis of observation of Pygott, Vygotsky, and the California curriculum techniques because it provides a clear understanding of all aspects of the observation of SEL in the use of early childhood education classes. The competencies this artifact shows knowledge of understanding of how to observe SEL in action for the understanding of how students learn through these interactions. This is a developed and mastered for PLO 2 alignment because it shows understanding of custom learning experiences through observations of students' interactions. Plan of Study 8, ECE 653, Inspired Teaching Philosophy. This artifact is a reflection essay on my own teaching philosophy and my role as an intentional teacher. The PLO alignment, Selected Inspired Teaching Philosophy, aligns with PLO 4, which requires the development of reflective practices that are grounded in current learning science research, professional ethics, and include pathways to continued growth. The IDM allocation D developed analysis of my reflection on my teaching philosophy and inspired teaching philosophies because it explains the understanding of how my philosophy has changed after learning what an intentional teacher is. Competencies, this artifact shows knowledge of understandings of how reflective thinking and analysis of teaching philosophies. This is developed for PLO4 alignment because it shows understanding of reflection, and improvement upon one's teaching. Plan of Study 9 is ECE 654 Advocacy Position Paper. This artifact is an advocacy position essay for play-based learning in early childhood education. The PLO alignment selected advocacy position paper aligns with PLO 3, which requires the application of practitioner research methods to inform instruction in traditional learning environments. The IDM allocation is M for Mastered Advocacy Position Essay because it displays the understanding of the need of play-based learning in early childhood education. It also advocates for change in or implementation of learning styles across the early childhood education learning. Competencies, this artifact shows knowledge of understanding of how to advocate for evidence-based learning styles of students in early childhood education through ensuring that advocating is important to ensure the best learning outcomes. This is a master for PLO3 alignment because it shows understanding of informed learning environment for students. Lastly, Plan of Study 10 is MAE610 research proposal. The artifact research proposal discussing the relationship between cooperative learning-based teaching of social emotional learning are explored through the review and analysis of 5 different studies. The PLO alignment selected research proposal aligns with PLO 4, which requires the development of reflective practices that are grounded in current learning science research. The IDM allocation M for master research proposal of research question study plans that can be implemented in research study. It shows mastery across all needs of research question and plan. The competencies, this artifact shows knowledge of understanding of how to create a research question and plan through ensuring that the plan includes the analysis of data from multiple articles to focus on study where limitations were present. This is a mastered for PLO4 alignment because it shows the in-depth knowledge of all aspects of research. The end. Thank you for listening to my presentation.